immune system of the body. The nature has given us a wonderful self-defense mechanism to maintain the health throughout our life. What is this self-maintaining system? See, there are some organs which help to maintain our health perfectly. The white blood corpuscles in the blood always fights the microbes, and it cannot enter our body and it cannot have any effect. The killer and helper T cells produces the antibody for any toxin that enters into our system. There is a wonderful endocrine system in our body which produces the chemicals called hormones. These hormones work in two ways. Number one, all these hormones are medicines, and it also helps to maintain our emotional system also. We'll come to details later. And in addition to that, whenever positive thought and emotions enter into our mind, a microchemical is released from the nervous system to the blood. It is called, if the emotions, thoughts are positive, these chemicals will have positive effect on our body and mind. If the thoughts and emotions are negative, it will have negative effect. And this helps to produce some medicines in our body also. We'll come to details later. And in addition to that, if a person is to remain healthy, all the perfect organs should work properly. Why does the vital organ doesn't work properly? The answer is very simple. Take a bulb. If some dust and grease collect over the bulb glow diminishes. If suddenly voltage drops, then also it cannot give sufficient light. In the same way, if any vital organs, brain, heart, kidney, any of them, if toxin collect over the tissues and cells of these organs, it will not work properly. Similarly, if sufficient energy is not supplied to these organs, then also it will not work properly. So, this system, when the immune system is perfect and when all the vital organs work properly, there is no reason why a person fall into illness. Now, the question is, how does the vital organ fail to work? See, the blood, if the blood supplies toxin into the vital organs, it collects over there and it doesn't work properly. Where does the blood get toxin from? The food we consume should be digested within 6 hours, and the nutrients should be assimilated between 6 and 12 hours, and the unwanted things should be excreted between 12 and 24 hours. This is nature's law. Not only for the men, for all the living creatures in the nature. For any reason, if the unwanted thing remains in the digestive system for more than 12 hours, fermentation takes place. That is, it begins to rot. Then, 4 types of substances are released. They are solid, liquid, gaseous, and subatomic particles. Of course, the solid cannot enter into the blood, but remaining the other 3 will enter into the blood along with the nutrients. So when these enter into the blood, and blood is circulated throughout the body, all the vital organs get the toxin. So how to come out of this problem? Very simple. The digestive system should be cleansed every day. How can that be done? Take the analogy of a drainage pipe. If it is blocked with some solid, then we flush it with sufficient supply of water. Our digestive system is more than 20 feet, and regularly it should be washed in the morning by consuming about a liter to 1.5 liter of fresh water early in the morning before taking any food. This is called Ushatpana or hydrotherapy. Before taking any food, early in the morning, if you consume about a liter of fresh water, the whole digestive system shall be cleansed. And once a month for the adults, so take half a liter of hot water and saline with 2 teaspoons of common salt and consume. The whole lot comes out and the digestive system becomes very clean. And there are some contraindications. The children below 12 need not go for this. And those are suffering from hypertension, instead of common salt, they may have Induppu or potassium chloride, and it will not be any dangerous. Next, where do we get energy for the vital organs? The food we consume will be transformed into 6 nutrients: carbohydrate, fat, protein, minerals, vitamins and water. Of the 6, the carbohydrate and fat work as fuel, and it should be burnt in the cell level, that is in mitochondria. For this, we require fuel, oxygen and fire. So for the formula of energy is FOF. F stands for fuel, O stands for oxygen, and second F stands for fire. Of course, fire is there in the form of Jataragni, and there is no problem releasing the fuel as we can consume for sufficient food. The problem is we do not have sufficient oxygen in the blood. Where does the blood get oxygen from? From the lungs. If the lungs are full of fresh air, the hemoglobin in the blood absorbs oxygen. But unfortunately, lungs are full of residual coal breath, mainly carbon dioxide. In that case, the hemoglobin absorbs carbon dioxide. The blood will with carbon dioxide cannot yield energy, as the food contains the carbohydrate and fat will not be oxidized completely. So what we have to do is we have to supply sufficient fresh air into the lungs. That cannot be done because it will not enter into the lungs when the lungs are full. So in this case, we have to go for a few yogic exercises by which the lungs are being cleansed. So these are called Bhastrika, Kapalabhati and Mukhadauti. We will go into details in the next session. So, if a person wants to remain healthy, these are the 2 things he has to go for. Number 1, regular detoxification of the digestive system and regular detoxification of the respiratory system. And by going through these procedures, one is assured of the health throughout the life.